Today I want to talk about one of my biggest breakthroughs in my healing journey, and I think it will be very relevant for you guys because these breakthroughs you will have plenty on your journey and they are very key, very important. What I mean by breakthrough is I mean big shift in perspective, big aha moment, big understanding that completely changes your relationship with your traumas and with life. Okay? So when you have a breakthrough like that, it's very important to celebrate it because it means you reached a new milestone. So a few years ago, I think 2 years ago, I had a coach and a therapist. My therapist changed my life, and this coach was also helping me on the side to deal with other issues that I wanted to work specifically with, like masculinity, power, confidence, stuff like this. As we were doing sessions, I started to realize that the emptiness in me was actually my biggest power. And you know, after trauma, you have experienced it as well, you feel super empty. You feel completely emptied out inside, as if there's nothing left of you, of your soul, as if your soul has been stripped away from your body. And it's so painful and it's so confusing. Life is not full. It's like a constant sense of lack, a constant sense of drowning inside. And I was always trying to get out of this emptiness. I was always trying to find the way out, which is normal, which is a normal impulse. But I realized that it's more efficient to heal by making friends with the emptiness, reconnecting with the emptiness, than trying to get away from it. It's like, you know, taking an empty glass, which I don't have, I only have a full glass, but imagine this empty glass, and this is you, this is how your internal reality is. And instead of trying to escape from this place, which we're all doing, you can pour the water in it. You can learn how to fill this space, how to take shape within that space, how to make this space useful for you. For example, with water. And so this emptiness is only waiting for you to reconnect with it, to see it, to make friends with it. And there was some meditation sometimes where I was almost like talking to this emptiness and being like, hey, what's up? What do you need from me? I'm your friend now. And it can be weird because it's like talking to myself, but in the end it was working. At the stage where I was, it was working. And so I could feel how reconnecting with the emptiness in me would give me so much power and confidence. At my biggest surprise, it was actually relieving to feel into that emptiness. And all of my life I spent trying to escape this emptiness, trying to not look at it, trying to avoid it and focus on something else, when the way was actually internal, and the way was actually to being one with this emptiness. And when I had this understanding, it took a while, it took a few months to understand, right? But it was a huge milestone because I realized the power I was seeking, the confidence I was seeking, the security I was seeking was already there. I just had to reconnect with it. I just had to feel into it. And it's so interesting, we're not aware of how, even in subtle ways, we're unconsciously trying to escape this emptiness. We're really trying not to feel it. We're really trying to not experience it. And we're searching for confidence outside of us, in the future, in the imaginary future. And we search for our power also in the future or in other things, possessions or relationships, whatever. When it's actually there, it's just a matter of making friends with the most painful thing. Because truly the sense of being empty is very, very painful because there's an absence of everything. It's like there's nothing there. So that's when you need to really reconnect and allow the space to be felt and embraced. And when I did this, I remember walking in the streets and feeling super confident somehow, suddenly. And I remember feeling on top of the world. And I had some big insights where I was just laying in my room and being like, I feel unbreakable. I feel super strong. Because in the end, it's a part of you. It's a part of your psyche, you could say, that only needs you to see it. And so what we want to do is to build a foundation on this. And can be so disturbing and confusing because you're like, how can I build a foundation on something that is completely empty? How can I build a foundation on a void? Which comes because of the trauma, right? So we seek another place, we seek another way, we seek something else, another foundation than the one we have. But the true healing is about making this void your foundation. And that's the biggest strength, because what is more strong than a person who has been through the worst and is still growing from it and is still building from it, from that void? That's super powerful. Like, that's the most powerful you can be, because you're fully embracing your story and you're learning how to cultivate your own garden, you could say. You stop seeking it elsewhere, you focus here, you come back here, and you make that void something pleasant, something comfortable. You make the void cozy. You create this new relationship with this emotional state. And from this void can arise an infinite potential. Because you didn't have a childhood, you have nothing. But because you have nothing, you have everything. Because only from nothing can everything happens. If you want everything, it has to come from nothing, from just a space, an empty space, a void. Because the void is infinite in potential. Because it's empty, you can transform it in whatever you want. You can go in whatever direction you want to go. So this whole reframing of the void is my friend, the emptiness is my foundation, and it's hard to accept, but I am accepting it, and I'm making this my foundation. I will make it my most authentic place, my most safe place. And because I had this childhood trauma, I was always feeling like I was walking on the void. I was walking on an absence of foundation. I didn't have a foundation in my life, and that's true. When you don't have a childhood, you don't have this foundation, which is so essential for healthy, integrated development of the psyche. But we don't want to fall into victimhood, okay? Because this is why I'm making this video, is to explain how this breakthrough that I had made me understand that I could do anything I want with this past, with this childhood. I could transform it into anything. And because I didn't have a childhood, it's like I was walking in air in my life. Like there was no foundation, there was nothing to hold on to. And it can seem like a huge powerlessness when you look at it, but it can also be a huge power. Why? Because now that you didn't have a foundation, you can make anything out of your life. Because when you look at other people, they're just comfortable with their childhood and their life, and they're just following it, and it goes pretty fine. But for us, we didn't have this healthy conditioning, this foundation. But what that means is that because we didn't have it, we can transform our lives in everything we want. There's no reason to be attached to such a childhood. And that's why it's so cool. It's because you didn't have a childhood, you can have everything now. Because you will have to transform everything. Because you will have to reinvent yourself completely. And that seems like a burden, but it's a power. Because when you reinvent yourself, it's the ultimate freedom. Because you break free from everything. You break free from your whole childhood, which other people cannot do because they didn't have a bad enough childhood to have this impulse to change, this need to transform. So they will stay their whole life in their conditioning, in their limiting conditioning, without discovering true freedom, because they're not forced by life to evolve to true freedom, if that makes sense. But for us, we are forced to break free from the chains. And that's why I say that reuniting with this void, making this emptiness your home, and building from there, reinventing it completely, will make you grow so much, and not escaping it, and owning it as the seed that is necessary for the tree to grow.